Did you know the Konami code to your perfect visual identity is hiding right underneath your nose? And I'm not just talking about on the table right underneath your nose. I'm talking within your cosmic blueprint, aka your birth chart. There are three elements working together that if you learn to look at and work with them together, you can't help but attract your dream people, like Batman's grappling hook to a Gotham gargoyle. Zip, zip. If you're new here, what up, though? I'm Jasmine, and I'm your brand strategy alchemist. And I help multi-passionate baddies and business owners release their inner brat by merging your light, your dark together into a magnetic brand the universe can't help but spoil you rotten. Now, if we're using this definition of branding by Caleb, branding is associations. It's what you are paired with, but also what you are not paired with. So understanding what you do and you don't want to be paired with can help you streamline and make the decision as you're building your visual identity. Lead you, okay, what colors, what fonts actually we want to put together to ensure that we are communicating properly and attracting our dream people. So I'll go over the three elements, define what they are, and stick around because I'm going to show you an example when it's in alignment and the content is positioned. That's getting DMs, comments. It's the works. You want to stick around. The first element that I look at in your birth chart that influences your visual identity is your Mercury sign. Mercury is associated with communication. So it's not just the words that we speak, it's how the feeling. So it's all about that communication. When Mercury is in them fire signs, you could tell it is direct, it is passionate, it is intense. You can tell when you are talking to a fire sign. Mercury signs and earth signs are more practical, grounded, structured. You can almost feel like you can literally feel the soil in that conversation when you're speaking with an earth sign. Mercury and air signs are more flowy, logical, intellectual, just kind of whoosh, whoosh, going with it when you're talking with an air sign. Mercury in water signs is deep, emotional, it's intuitive, but most of all, it is imaginative. The second element that I look at in your birth chart to help build your visual identity is your Venus sign. Now, baby, this is my favorite. Your Venus sign deals with the aesthetics, so the actual look. Now we get into the colors and the fonts and the physical elements that come together that communicate, hey, this is me, this is what I do. Come on in. Now, Venus in these fire signs, think warm, think heat. Reds and orange really pair well with fire signs. And if I had to choose some fonts that would help represent, I would say like Gill Sans, Anton, Impact, thicker, bold, in your face, what we say, fonts really paired together. Venus in earth signs, think yellows and greens, definitely very nature focused, has a softness to it. And if I had to choose a font that would go with it, I would think serif fonts. So something that's a little more formal. I'm thinking Palatino, I'm thinking Didas, I'm thinking Merriweather to bring in all those different elements. Venus in air signs, thinking more neutrals, more desaturated colors, thinking like pastel-y, whimsical. Those are the kind of colors, your pinks, your browns, those are the colors I would choose. And if I had to choose a font that would help convey that with these air signs, I would say something thinner like Ubuntu or Garrett or Red Hat Display. Something that's a little bit thinner, but it's not as formal to convey with those air signs. Venus in water signs, now we're getting into those deeper intense hues, so your blues, your purples, things that really match like the oceans and conveying the depth. Now, if I had to choose a font or a font family that would represent water signs, I would choose a serif, something more formal. I'm thinking Guermond, I'm thinking Baskerville, I'm thinking Laura to convey for water signs. The third element that I look at in your birth chart to build your visual identity is your moon sign. Your moon sign is associated with your emotional needs in your subconscious, because whatever is inside, it is going to come out. So having an understanding of what your emotional needs are and how that is going to convey is going to be able to better draw in and align your people. So moon signs in fire signs, this is very passionate, very deep, very intimate, but overall very, very intense, just like the fire it represents. Moon signs in earth signs, this is more of your routine, predictability, reliability, stability. Having those needs and making sure that's in alignment is needed. Moon signs in air signs, very social, very bubbly, very intellectual, but definitely logic. We need that logic because you need to make it make sense. Moon signs in water signs, very much mysterious, very much intense, very much private. Now that we understand what are the three elements in your birth chart that build your visual identity, your Mercury sign deals with communication, your Venus sign deals with the aesthetics, the colors, the fonts, and your moon sign deals with your emotional needs in your subconscious. Now let's actually see it live in action when these are in alignment and the content is positioned for all the engagement, baby. Let's do it. So I'm going to use myself as an example so that you can see when things are in alignment, how it all works together and stands out in the void that is the interwebs out here. Now, my Mercury sign is in Aries and it's in my third house. And with it being in the third house, I get an extra boost. The third house is dealing with media, marketing, and writing. And surprisingly, zing, 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 these are some of my skill sets, my natural strengths that I have been pouring into and been curating and crafting for years. So we are, boom, check. We are in alignment with that. And with my Mercury being in Aries, that is a fire sign. I am very direct. I am very bold. I am very blunt. I am going to cuss and I might even fuss. But I will give you a forehead kiss because I ain't touching your hand. We got the germs out here. So if you've seen any of like my hot takes, any of like my videos, you can see that passion. You can see that intensity. You can see that communication style. Because when I'm on it, I'm on it. Now, my Venus sign is in Taurus in the fourth house, and I get an extra boost with it being in Taurus because Venus is the ruling sign for the ruling planet for that sign. So bold, bright colors are my jam. And with the fiery elements from my Mercury sign coming over here, I love a red, I love a bright orange, and also I've incorporated other of my favorite colors as well, some purples and some greens. But it's not just like ooh light pastels. No, these are like intense, think like comic book in depth, like type of like saturation. Those are the colors that build up my color palette. Those are the colors that you will see throughout my branding, throughout the things, the materials that I am putting out here. My moon sign is in Scorpio in the 10th house, and it being in Scorpio, that has some water elements to it. I am very, very emotional. I feel my emotions very, very intensely. I feel my emotions very, very intensely at a depth, mysterious type of thing. And so with knowing that is going to be some mystery, there is going to be some like curiosity, who done it, you want to lean in. And so there has those elements when I'm talking, when I'm creating, this like that naturally want to draw you in because I'm not sharing everything up front. It's just enough to give you a taste, a little appetizer so that you can enjoy the main course. And those elements are working together to build that visual identity, that cohesive look, baby. You're positioned to receive those blessings that the universe can bestow onto you. If you have enjoyed this, go ahead and check out the description for some more goodies so how that we can work together. Because, baby, I'm tired of you not having a cohesive look. I know you tired of not having a cohesive look. So let's work together so that you can have a cohesive look. Your dream people are waiting on you. They're waiting. They're trying to find you, but they can't find you if you look like everybody else. They need you to look like you. Let's refine it and put it together. I'll see you in the next one.